Hello and welcome to Innovate and Inspire on KLTV, where we meet the people driving change, innovation and economic growth across the region. My name is Dr Milton Brown, and today I'm delighted to welcome Jason McCartney. Jason's career is one of remarkable reinvention, from serving as an officer in the Royal Air Force to becoming a familiar face on ITV's Yorkshire calendar. Then representing Colne Valley as a Member of Parliament, he has spent much of his professional life serving the public in one form or another. More recently, Jason has turned his focus to business and economic development. As Group CEO of Engineering and Manufacturing Business and Chair of the Mid-Yorkshire Chamber of Commerce, he's helping business innovate, grow and compete in an increasingly challenging economic landscape. Jason, it's a pleasure to have you here.
It's great to be here, Milton, and fantastic to be at KLTV.
Excellent. I was just thinking as well, Jason, if we get straight into it, looking across your career from the Royal Air Force to journalism, politics and now business, what's driven you and you keep embracing new challenges? And in particular, you're always serving as well.
Yeah, I like to be challenged. Sometimes I think I would like a quiet life, but I don't really. I love to meet new people. I like to build a team to achieve things, but I also love where we live. And genuinely, I want to make it an even better place to live, work and play. So even when I was in the Royal Air Force, my first career for 10 years, I was always trying to get back to Huddersfield at the weekend on leave, generally to come and, cheer on Huddersfield town. And I remember coming back from a 4 or 5 month detachment from Iraq with the Royal Air Force, coming back to see my mum and dad, and then scooting off straight away, having just come back, and literally just dropping like my laundry at home and then rushing off with friends to cheer on Huddersfield town. So I love our area. I love a challenge, but I just want where we live to be a great place to live, work and play.
Yeah, that comes across very, very strong. You spent 9 years as an RAF officer before moving into television with ITV. How did those two different careers shape your leadership style and communication skills?
Yeah, in the Royal Air Force, there's a few careers where you can actually jump in right at the beginning, sort of in a management role. I think you can now in the police. You can have direct entry to maybe be a police inspector. But in the Royal Air Force, as an 18, 19-year-old, you can actually get accepted as an officer. You do 6 months of officer training at RF Cranwell in Lincolnshire, and then you are thrown out there to generally be in charge of a group of people in the military who are all older than you. You do wear a rank on your shoulder, so you do have the backup of that. But obviously you want to gain respect of the men and women that you're leading. And then moving into journalism, because when I was in the Royal Air Force, I bumped into journalists that were reporting on what the Royal Air Force was doing, say, in Iraq and other places in the world. And it just sort of, grabbed a bit of attention from me, wanting to tell stories and explain what the Royal Air Force was doing.
You served in the RAF, then you went into journalism and then politics. How did that transition happen?
Well, like I was saying, moving from the Royal Air Force into journalism was because I came into contact with journalists. As a journalist, I came into contact with politicians. And I remember spending an afternoon with David Cameron, who had just become leader of the Conservative Party in opposition. It must have been 2005, 2006, I think it was. He was visiting Sheffield because they'd had some bad floods there in South Yorkshire. And I just got chatting to him, asking him how it worked. He was very down to earth, believe it or not. And I said, how do you get into, being an MP or government? And he told me about it. And lo and behold, I decided to, dip my toe in the water, obviously looking to represent, Colne Valley, our home area. I was a candidate for 3 years and then fortunately successful the first time I stood in the 2010 general election. So there's always been a bit of logic to it. In the current career, before moving on to a new one, I came into contact with the people that were in my sort of future calling. But there's a link all the way through. The Royal Air Force was about working with positive people to achieve an aim. Journalism was about, again, as a team, because you need an editor, sound people, camera people, producers, as you know here on KLTV, and then in politics as well. It's about not just representing your area, it's about getting things done. So identifying the community champions that you can work with to get the best for your area, for our area here.
I see so much of yourself as transformational leader. You want to enable people to be the best they can be. Where's the essence of that? When did it start?
There's obviously family. So my dad was a senior officer in the Royal Air Force, so we travelled the world, and I sort of learned from him. My mum's a very proactive, hard-working person. She did various careers and got involved with various things. And my brother, he's got a landscape gardening business. He did a little course when he was younger at Huddersfield Tech, which is now Kirklees College, and he's now doing maintenance for big energy companies, but also constructing amazing things in people's gardens and businesses. So it's that sort of get up and go. But I think it's that sort of taking an interest in what's happening around you. I was always wanting to do things and learn things and work as a team.
Yeah, wonderful. You're now a group CEO of an engineering and manufacturing business. What attracted you to this sector, and what excites you the most about its future in Yorkshire?
I love making things. I love seeing people make things. I love the fact that here in Huddersfield we do have traditional engineering. We have Cummins Turbo Technologies, we have David Browns, who used to own Aston Martin. They're making propulsion systems for the Royal Navy frigates. Our engineering companies, we're exporting 85% of what we make, and we put Union Jacks on a little metal plaque, so they go round the world with the Union Jack on. We've got textiles, of course, like Antich, making lovely suits. This is from M&S, but they make really high quality suits. We've got Chimera Fabrics that make the upholstery for buses and trams round the world. I'm proud that we're still making things. And I also love to create opportunities for young people. So we have apprentices in our business. So that's young people that are learning a skill, learning a trade, making money, but working as a team. And it means that our area then is vibrant. If we can create jobs and opportunities for young people here in Huddersfield and the surrounding areas, that will support everything else. They will then be going to the pubs and the cafes and the restaurants, which then create more jobs. I want our area to flourish, but we need the young people to want to stay here and be part of the community. And I'm very mindful, in a lot of businesses here, the workforce is quite older, and I want them to have opportunities here. Because if they stay here, they will go to the pubs and restaurants and cafes. The town centre will flourish. They'll go to the cinema at the Light, and then that will keep going. They'll go and cheer on the Giants and Huddersfield Town, which is a bit of a hard slog at the moment. And then people will invest here, won't they? If there's young people going out with jobs and going to restaurants and cafes, people will invest here, and that's what we need. I love Huddersfield, it's a great place, but I want it to flourish, but we need to be giving young people opportunities to stay here.
From your perspective, what does innovation really mean for businesses to stay competitive?
Well, we're thinking ahead all the time. We're traditional engineering, but we need to think where we need to be in 5 or 10 years' time. So we're trying to diversify. We've invested in a autonomous drone security business. So that is providing AI-driven security drones for key sites around the UK. We're investing in other businesses as well. We've invested in a civil engineering business that's putting in EV charging points for drive-through Starbucks. Some people won't like this, but we're putting in automatic number plate recognition cameras for councils. You know, when you go into a car park now, it reads your number plate, so it knows that you're there. But there's an opportunity for us to move into an area of business. So I'm trying, you know, with the owner of the business to think about where we need to be to keep relevant and keep employing people and keep growing.
Just a question as well, is AI the future?
It's part of the future. It will never totally replace human beings. As I say, we're still traditional engineering. So as we speak, there are people in our factories today even working with rasps, taking bits of old rust off as we refurbish some of the equipment that we make. And I love the fact that it's still hands-on traditional engineering.
Excellent.
But we use AI to try and work out proportions and power generation and what we need to develop and improve our product. So it is a part of it, but it won't totally replace it.
Excellent. And you're also now the Mid-Chamber of Commerce through a period of change and rebranding. Where's the biggest challenge, and what will it take to transform and achieve your vision?
Well, I've become chairman of the Mid-Yorkshire Chamber of Commerce. It's an honorary role. We do have an excellent CEO in Neil Kendall, who also runs the CKMA, which is the Calderdale and Kirklees Manufacturing Alliance. We have a great team. We have full-time members of staff. We represent nearly 400 businesses and organisations across Kirklees, Wakefield and Calderdale. We're locally rooted, but we're globally connected. We want to help businesses and organisations to grow in a sustainable way and support them in many different ways. For example, our engineering and manufacturing businesses, we use the Mid-Yorkshire Chamber of Commerce to do our paperwork for exporting, our exporting accreditation paperwork. So we gladly pay as a member, and we get the value back from the export team helping us with our paperwork for selling products around the world. The Chamber, the Mid-Yorkshire Chamber, also offer things like help with HR, legal support. Of course, there's networking and linking people together, but we are there to help charities, organisations and businesses to grow, but also work as a big, helpful, supportive family. And I'm really enjoying the challenge. It is a challenging time for many organisations and businesses, particularly hospitality businesses, but we can be there on the ground helping and supporting them find a way through the challenges.
Yeah. And to smaller SMEs, what would you say to them who are not part of the chamber? How would they benefit if they came and joined the chamber?
There are a number of smaller businesses in our area who I visit and I know that are just sort of cracking on with what they're doing. They're sort of doing it the way they used to do it for many years. So if people operate in their own, I don't like to use the word silo, but if they're sort of operating in their own little area and suddenly things have become a bit tight, get involved with the chamber. As I say, we're locally rooted but globally connected. We can help them find new customers, new markets, better ways of working. They might need a bit of help with HR support. You know, there is new legislation coming in with the Employment Rights Act, protection. Some of the introductions are positive, but some are a lot of red tape, and it can be a bit worrying if you employ 7 or 8 people. What do I need to do now? What does this mean for us? We can help with the Mid-Yorkshire Chamber of Commerce.
Wonderful. And finally, if you could leave Yorkshire business leaders, entrepreneurs and young people with one piece of advice about succeeding in today's rapidly changing world, what would it be?
Find those able, ambitious young people that have a little bit of a spark and give them an opportunity. And there's nothing that gives me, as I said earlier in this interview, more satisfaction from seeing people achieve and then keeping in touch with them. And I'll just say there's a young man that did a bit of work experience with me. He was 16 or 17 and he wasn't really sure what he was going to do. So I wanted to take on an apprentice, and he did a business administration apprenticeship at Kirklees College. He worked for me for a few years. He is now the personal assistant of the chairman of Manchester City Football Group. They own Manchester City Football Club, Sydney Football Club, New York Football Club. He travels the world with football.
Well, Jason, it's been absolutely fascinating, inspiring and transformational, and I hope everybody plugs into this. And I really loved your passion for this field and passion for the work you do, and more importantly, passion for people. Thank you so much for coming.
Thank you so much for inviting me, and keep up the great work on KLTV.
Yeah, thank you very much. And to our audience, thank you for watching Innovate and Inspire on KLTV. If you've enjoyed today's program, please like, share and subscribe, and join us next time as we continue to showcase the people and ideas shaping the future of Yorkshire and beyond. Bye for now.